Finding you a well-paying career on this Workforce Wednesday. This week, how you can become a crane operator and how much it pays. Here to steer us in the right direction, David Myers with STG Incorporated, Alaska Crane, and Martha Peck with the Alaska Process Industry Careers Consortium, or APIC. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here.
So Dave, what sorts of jobs do crane operators work on?
Cranes are used throughout the various industrial applications. The construction industry uses them across the board. They're used to support on and offshore oil and gas, ports, fisheries, timber industry. Basically, if you can think of an application, there's a crane built to suit. There's very specialized cranes. One of those would be our LTM 1500 Bear. It's a 600-ton, 8-axle rubber tire, drives down the road at highway speeds and sets up like basically a mobile tower crane.
Look at that thing. Now, I guess if we think that's massive, we've got some images coming up soon. We'll show you a big crane. So operating a crane, more to it than people probably realize. That said, what sort of a person does well at this kind of a job?
Crane operator needs to be patient, methodical, predictable. They need to have great leadership skills. They're responsible for the safety of that crane and those around them. They need to be able to call any kind of safety. Basically, they have to be able to shut something down if need be or make those tough decisions. They should have good depth perception, eye-hand coordination, and be mechanically inclined.
And obviously not afraid of heights, right?
Well, they're typically the ones in the seat and not up in the air.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
that certainly does help.
So we don't have any experience. How can you get into this profession? Where do we start?
So it's important for those interested in operating cranes to get in working around cranes. A good pathway is to become a rigger and work and be mentored by those that know what they're doing. Starting off with small, maybe boom trucks in the 10 to 40 ton range, to light cranes up to maybe 100 ton, and then work their way into heavy lift applications. There's nationally accredited certifications. Crane operators should start with maybe a CDL, commercial driver's license, get their signalman rigger certification, and their nationally accredited operator certification.
All right, so what sort of requirements are there, Martha, for potential employees?
Well, potentially you need to be able to pass a drug screening test, be able to pass the Department of Labor's physical examinations, and then once you get your certification, you have to recertify every 5 years.
So is there opportunity for rural Alaskans as well as people here around in the Anchorage area?
Well, there are, in that the jobs are, they move around. Like Dave said, they're out on the rigs with mining. You're going to move around to different mine sites. Oil and gas, of course, moves around a lot. So if you're willing to move around, there's plenty of opportunity. Specifically, David mentioned earlier that there's lots of opportunity in the Pacific Northwest. There's a big building boom. So if you're willing to move around, then there's plenty of opportunity for everybody.
And then let's talk about pay. How much can we make?
$28 to about $48 an hour.
Sounds good to me. Any insight on who's hiring right now? I know it's kind of tough, the state of things.
Yeah, as we all know and feel, it's tough economic conditions here in the state. Ports are always needing crane operators. There's union and non-union pass. The Pacific Northwest, and to Martha's point, travel is required. Getting on a rotation schedule or being willing to move to where the work is located. Pacific Northwest, for example, Seattle currently has 62 tower cranes in the air. I mean, it's booming in that location.
All right, so if we need a guide to show us along the way, who can we contact to get the ball rolling?
Well, you can email me or call me, and the number I think is on the screen, and my email address as well.
There it is. All right, thank you two for being here on this Workforce Wednesday.